now as a member, but she could not come tonight. So she'll be at our next meeting in June. And then Karen Zablett was absent tonight, couldn't be here. So as far as minutes, anyone want to make a motion to approve the minutes of the April 26th meeting?
I will make a motion that we approve the minutes of the April 26th meeting.
I'll second.
Thank you. And all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. And we'll start with an executive session tonight. Clark, if you're up for it, I put the motion in front of you, the first one.
I don't see it.
Oh. Maybe I.
None.
Did something silly.
There is.
Let's try this one.
Oh, okay.
So this is
It's up.
John's, yeah, that one will be for later.
Okay.
For Dave.
Well, I move that the Ethics Advisory Board recess into executive session for 20 minutes to receive additional information and legal advice on 2 ethics complaints pursuant to KSA 75-4319B2 for legal consultation with Ethics Advisory Board's legal counsel, which would be deemed privileged in the attorney-client relationship for legal advice. The executive session is required to protect the attorney-client privilege and the public interest. The executive session on this matter will begin at 6:05, I guess.
6:05.
6:05 and will end at 6:25. And the Ethics Advisory Board will resume here in the Evergreen classroom.
And a second.
A second.
Thank you. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, 4-0. We'll go over to the
Yep. Maybe when you get older, get on there.
When they start to understand.
Well, they understand when they have their own kids, yeah. It's amazing how smart my parents got when
Amen. Amen. Took me till 40 years old to admit it to my mother.
I never admitted it. Because my dad was always, yeah, he was so rude, he was always right. And I never wanted to admit that, yeah, he was right. But deep down, they know they were right.
So it's human, can't you?
Mhm.
Last time I don't think they fell down like that, but even inside, it's human.
I grew up on the Mississippi River.
Oh, so that's
This
the
ain't
same.
you. I hear this all day. I just sit there and go. My hair's still bouncing. I'm okay.
Okay,
I guess I need to make a statement, let the record reflect that no binding action was taken in executive session.
thank you. And I would like to go ahead and do a summary of a couple complaints. Okay. Find over here. So you can follow along. You bet. So first up today is complaint number 2022-05A. This complaint was filed in December by Mr. William Stout. And it alleges two separate violations, and so we split them up, but we already did 05B. So today is 05A, and that section is about alleging that Mayor Brandon Whipple attempted to use his office to gain personal privilege, misuse city assets, and attempted to intimidate a police officer on Saturday, September 24th, 2022, at a neighborhood cleanup event. So that's three allegations at one event, allegations of violation of the ethics policy. The investigation did include reviewing the complaint, the mayor's response, the city guidelines governing the program, and related documents to the neighborhood cleanup program, the body cam video from the police officer who was on site, and interviews of 3 witnesses. Now, the next couple pages summarize a lot of details of the investigation and the event that day and the various allegations, but I'm going to skip ahead to page 3, so that's section 4, and mention first the sections of the code that were alleged to have been violated. One is subsection D, as in David, that seek no favors nor use prestige of office for private gain nor use confidential information or government equipment or supplies to secure profit or enhance wealth. This complaint also alleges a violation of subsection H, which states, work in full cooperation with other officials and employees unless prohibited by law or recognized confidentiality of material to perform the operations of government. And lastly is section M, never use city equipment or resources for activities outside of official duties. So I'm going to now just read word for word the findings of the board as draft, and then you all would be making a motion in this regard. I would also say that, let me just do the findings first. So first, regarding section H, the EAB finds that the mayor's actions did not rise to the level of violation. That's section H, that's about working in full cooperation. Section M, the EAB concludes that information provided to residents for this specific September 24th event, the flyer, did not clearly prohibit anyone from attending. So the finding is that the mayor's actions did not rise to the level of using city resources for activities outside of official duties, or at least not the type of behavior contemplated by section M. Now, regarding section D, the policy says, seek no favors nor use the prestige of office for private gain. The officer, the police officer, directed Mr. Whipple to leave and said he did not initially know that he was the mayor. The mayor did not comply with the officer's directive. The mayor says he attempted to engage the officer in conversation and was treated badly by the officer. He parked his truck in the lot and then called the city manager directly from his phone during the encounter with the officer on a weekend to make and/or ask how to file a complaint against an officer. The mayor took issue with the officer deciding who stays and who goes. An interpretation of the recorded conversation between the mayor and the city manager is that the mayor was complaining about the officer's behavior. However, the manager asked the officer whether the mayor could proceed to the event, and the mayor ultimately dumps his trash without waiting in line. After the officer took his driver's license away and walked away from him, the mayor could not leave. He got out of his truck, walked to where the community service representative, city staff, and the police officer were and joined their conversation. The combination of the mayor going into the wrong entrance, refusing to turn around to get in line or leave, contacting the manager during the encounter with the police officer, stating multiple times that the officer didn't know who I was, constitutes seeking favor or private gain. The result was the mayor dumped his trash without waiting in line and used the privilege of direct access to the city manager. The Ethics Advisory Board finds the mayor used his office to seek favor and private gain by the manner in which he sought to dump his trash instead of waiting in line. He also used his unique direct access to the city manager when he called him during an encounter with a police officer on a Saturday to make a complaint about the officer. Therefore, the Ethics Advisory Board finds City Council Policy 39, Section D, as in David, was violated. The EAB does not find a serious violation occurred. Policy 39 states if the complaint is ruled a violation, the Ethics Advisory Board will require the official to undergo appropriate ethics training, which it hereby requires if the board approves and votes in a few minutes. As no serious violation was found, no further recommendations are made. Now, in compliance also with the policy and procedures, this report, as soon as this meeting is over, will be emailed and provided to the complainant, the mayor, the outside counsel, to the board of ethics, the city council, the city attorney, city manager, city staff liaison, and city clerk. And the complainant and the respondent have 7 days in which to email a response back that would be disputing any of the facts or or the board's interpretation of the code. If 7 days expire and there was no response is received, these findings become final. Now, very related was the second complaint received in October 2022 from Mr. Brandon Stewart. It was about the exact same event. So that's why the board decided to look at both complaints at the same time, because it's the same event. So instead of going over that 4-page document, it is very much what I just read, except Mr. Stewart alleges one violation of the code. You'll recall that Mr. Stout alleged 3 violations of the code. Mr. Stewart alleges just the one, and that too is subsection D, as in David, about seeking favors. So the conclusion is exactly the same as Mr. Stout's report, which is the EAB finds City Council Policy 39, Section D was violated. This is the same one event, 2 different people complained about it. That is one violation, not 2. So just to be clear about that. Hopefully summarizing helps a little bit, but there's a lot of detail in the reports for anyone who wants to look at those. We'll be emailing those out tonight, and first thing in the morning, these reports will go on the city's website, and just go to wichita.gov and cursor to the bottom of the first page, you click on Ethics Advisory Board, and you'll be able to find a link to those reports. Questions, thoughts? Yes, Vicki?
On the agenda, what are the complaint numbers on those 2?
I think it's incorrect on the agenda. It says 05B when it's actually
that's me.
05.
I'm so sorry.
I
Good
just
catch.
Yeah.
You're right. No, I made a mistake on the agenda there. It should be 05A. So there's a motion for 2022-03, that's the Stewart complaint, and there's a motion for 2022-05A, and that's the Stout complaint. Both of them are the same exact trash bin. Thank you, Vicki. I love detail oriented people. I don't know how many times I looked at that and never saw it.
Well, I move that we adopt the report on ethics complaint 2022-03 as the findings of the Ethics Advisory Board, and also adopt the report on ethics complaint 2022-05A as the findings of the Ethics Advisory Board.
I second.
Second by Vicky. Any discussion, questions, concerns? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And opposed, and motion carries 4-0. All right, thank you all very much. That was a big job on that one. We do have more business tonight, though, if you want to make another motion.
Yeah, I move that the Ethics Advisory Board recess into executive session for 30 minutes to receive information and legal advice on 2 ethics complaints pursuant to KSA 75-4319B2 with for legal consultation with Ethics Advisory Board's legal counsel, which would be deemed privileged in the attorney-client relationship for legal advice. The executive session is required to protect the attorney-client privilege and the public interest. The executive session on this matter will begin at
6:38.
6:38, and then we'll end at
7:08.
7:08. And the Ethics Advisory Board meeting will resume here in the Ever Dream classroom.
And second,
Second.
Patricia. Thank you. All those in favor say aye.
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 And we are recessed to executive session. Take those in. Good morning. Okay, we can come back to order then, and thank you all for the second executive session tonight. The subject now
I think
is.
I need to make a statement, let the record show that no binding action was taken in executive.
Thank you very much. Next, what was just discussed in executive session are the three cases on the agenda, 2023, 06, 07, and 08. These are the three cases that you all decided on the last meeting, April 26th. And as you know, the complainants, Mr. Jose Salcido and Chester Kingston, were given 7 days per policy to file a response. They together filed one response, so we'll just kind of review it today as one case, but it does cover, there's two reports and it covers all that. So the response was requesting reconsideration of the Ethics Advisory Board's findings and conclusions, and that is per policy, their right to do so. So we won't go over the original documents, but this complaint is that alleges that city council member Brian Fry attempted to denigrate, extort, slander, and retaliate against these two individuals in September 2022 using comments made during a city council meeting. There were several allegations made of the code, but the findings were that Mr. Fry did not violate the ethics code. Now, today, then, the request for review of that decision essentially alleges that Mr. Fry's statement is not protected by the First Amendment, and after extensive research into the legal aspects of this and consideration in executive session, the proposal for you all, and it is several pages long, it will be posted on the website, it will be sent after the meeting's over via email to the complainants and to the other city officials involved. But bottom line is that for all the reasons noted in the original decision and for those cited in this document, the Ethics Advisory Board does not find that Mr. Fry engaged in any unlawful or intimidating conduct. The Ethics Advisory Board has carefully considered the complainant's assertions, and the original decision of the Ethics Advisory Board set forth above is hereby affirmed. So that is the final determination as proposed, pending a motion here in order now.
I motion that we accept this report for complaints, the appeal of complaints 2023-06, 2023-07, and 2023-08.
So if there's a second, this will be the final determination of the board.
I will second that motion.
Thank you. Any questions, comments, thoughts? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carries. And I believe, unless anyone has anything else, that concludes our business tonight. Our next meeting is scheduled for June 8th. Of course, some folks from the earlier decision will have a 7-day period. So we'll see if there's an appeal. And then there is other business to come before the board. We may or may not meet on the 8th because there might be, I just learned that there might be some conflicts. So if not, we'll reschedule and let everybody know and find a time that works for everybody. So thank you all. Good meeting. We are adjourned at 7, maybe 14.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all.